All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahabar Karkadash, the bonds to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women and children, and the confusion of faith who follow. So, as you can see, this lesson is entitled something along the lines of you can't take a U-Haul with you on a chariot, or you follow behind you on a chariot. Um, it's a quote that I was the other day. I seen the Miami Heat after they had lost the game to the Boston Celtics. Denzel Washington was talking to him. He was just congratulating him or whatnot for getting that far, and he said, you can't take a U-Haul behind you on a hearse, and that's exactly how it is in its truth. You have a life, and you have works, you have physical properties, you have all the things that you do in this life, and then you die. All right, the Egyptians tried to take it with them. When they wrapped them up as mummies, and all their gold and different foods and all different kind of stuff. They try to take it to the afterlife. But what happened? They were just robbed, right? You can't take that to the afterlife with you. And it's the same thing in its truth. All these things, as the scripture says, and I was going to get this one last, but through the Spirit, we'll just go ahead and get this one first. Uh, this is a Second Peter chapter 3, in verse 11. It says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner are you to be in all holy what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" Right. So understanding and really knowing that America is going to be destroyed, that that the end is soon to come. What type of person should you be? Should you be focusing on the carnal things? Should you be building up your spirit? Okay, and it's a rhetorical question, of course. You should be feeding the mind, feeding the spirit, doing things that are productive and conducive and to salvation. Okay, so Lord, what is going to be an edifying video? It's not going to be a very long video. Um, this is where I wanted to start. This is Ecclesiastes 2, and I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, and this is Solomon. It says, "I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them, and all kinds of fruit I made me pools of water. Uh, to I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth thee forth trees. I got me servants and maids, and had servants born in my house. Also, I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me." So he's speaking about all his possessions, all the things that he's done in his life. You know, um, which we know that Solomon was the wisest king. He was, the richest king. So Solomon, he basically suck out all the things in the world. What's good for a man's life, So if you name it, he experienced it. Okay. Verse 8 says, "I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasures of kings and the provinces. I gathered men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of man as musical instruments, and that of that of a source. So I was great. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. also my wisdom remained with me. So he had all the carnal things, but he also retained the spiritual things as well. So he's given an unbiased opinion here. All right. Verse 10 it says, "And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld, I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced at all the labors, and this was my this was my portion of all my labor." So he said he wanted to he did it what you would call like a double blind study. Okay, he didn't go off, but he he didn't hold back. If there was something that he wanted to do, he wanted to go horseback riding today, he went horseback riding. All right. If he wanted to, you know, let's go to Ephraim. Let's see what Ephraim got going today. And he did it. He didn't hold back his heart for anything. All right, so he can be honest when he gives his judgment. You know, verse 11 says, "Then I looked on all the works of that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun." So after taking account of that, all the women, the servants, the money, the cars, the clothes, the hoes, he came to the conclusion that it was, that it was all vanity. That was all. Let's get this word vanity. All right, so this is a Strong's H1892 Chabal. It says vapor, breath, vanity, vainly, emptiness. All right, figuratively, something transitory, unsatisfactory. Right, it's empty, it's vain. All right, it's transitory. All right, you can't take it with you. All right, all those things, it's things of this life. You know, we were taken out of the world, right? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. I'll just grab it from here. It's a little bit quicker. This is John 15, St. John 15, and 16 says, "Ye have chosen me, Saki, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go, that you should bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye should ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you." Right, so uh, that's not what I wanted. That's good, but that's not what I wanted. Um, Let me see. Give me a moment. Yeah, here it is. So, reading down, um, St. John 15 and 19, it says, uh, "If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you." Right. So the Lord chose us, and He took us out of the world. So even though we're still physically in this world, spiritually we're separated from this place, right? As Michael said, Micah 2 or Micah says, "What arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted; it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction." So we've separated our mind and our spirit from this place. So you have to understand. Yeah, it's nice to have a nice house. It's nice to have a car or a woman or joy of your children, all sorts of different type of things. But understand this stuff's not coming with you. Lord's will, your wife will, Lord's will, your children will. but you got to be doing the right thing. All right, because 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, 144 times out of 10, you know, I can't say that because the scripture does say that the believing woman will say the believing man. But also I'll go back to nine. 9 times out of 10, you know, the woman is not going to be the one who's going to get you into the kingdom. There are cases where you do have. That's why we say the men, children, or the men, the women, and the confusion of faith who follow the children. Okay, because there are women who believe, and their men will be saved and gain salvation through the woman. So it's not completely out of line or unfathomable. It will happen, but for the most part, it's going to be up to the men in order for them to save their family. Okay, so in order for you to gain salvation for your children, for your wife, you have to be on point. You have to disconnect from this world. In this world, when you do, man, it has a hold on us. We are in this flesh. It's gonna want to pull you down. It's gonna want to, bring you back to that first estate, to the rudiments, as the scripture says, back to your first principles. It's gonna bring you back to that old man. But you have to fight the flesh. You have to fight the spirit wars within itself, because like Paul said, you want to be righteous, you want to be right, you want to be a man of the Lord, but our righteousness is as filthy rags. We get influenced and we get pushed and pulled and tagged and all kind of different things. But you have to realize where your bread is buttered. This is Matthew 6 and 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal." Fuck it. Like I said with the Egyptians, their treasures they tried to take with them, but what happened? Thieves broke through and stole them. Right? So lay your treasures in heaven. All right. Spiritual treasures. All right. That's where your mind should be, to the kingdom. Because if all your treasures, all the things that you hold to value are here on earth, it says moth and rust is going to corrupt them, right? That nice shiny car that you got, in 30 years, it's going to be a rust bucket, especially here in the Midwest where we get snow and salt and all that different thing. It's going to be a rust bucket. Your house, the shingles can come off this bitch. Your job, you could lose a job. Your woman could leave you. Toys break. you know, all that stuff is like I said, it's transitory. Let's get this word transitory. I'm gonna get it on this computer just because it moves a little bit faster. All right. From etymology, the word transitory says passing without continuing. All right. From the Old French, transitoire, ephemeral, transitory, passing, transit. In classical Latin, allowing passage through, or to go or to cross over. Right. Um, so transit is like moving, or you moving from. So I guess it would be intransitory. So you're moving from one state to another, from the physical to the spiritual realm, and we're going to get that here in Corinthians here shortly. It can't transition with you. It can't move from this plane to the next plane. It's not going to have no value when the dollar collapses and all hell breaks loose. Is having a nice car going to be important to you? No. What is food, water, things of that, the knowledge, the wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. These are the things that are going to get you through in that day. Not having a big house, not, you know, having, trinkets and random nice things, a $10,000 painting on the wall or something. None of that's going to matter when you ain't ate in 3 days. The hedge of protection around you, that is what's going to matter when you ain't ate in 3 days and it's Jacob's trouble. And the Lord said that he would feed his prophets. Bear with me. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 52. It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Right? That change is going to come, like I said, from this natural body that we're in right now to the spiritual, uh, incorruptible body. Right? That heavenly body. When you're being beamed up into that chariot, you know, these clothes, my dog, my Jordans, my Nike shoes, whatever, that's not coming with me. You can't take a U-Haul on a chariot with you. All right. You getting beamed up for salvation, but you can't leave your laptop and I need my wave grease. Let me see. I gotta have my iPhone. I'm gonna need about 10 packs of some top ramen. You know, I gotta have these the things of this life, the affairs of this life. You can't take none of that with you. All right, when you getting beamed up in that chariot, Lord, as well, you are getting beamed up. The spirit, your spirit is what's gonna inherit that new body. All this stuff is gonna get left behind. It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and the mortal must put on immortality." Okay, so this corruptible flesh, these chains of darkness, must put on that incorruption, because those new bodies that we have, where the law will be written in our inward parts, is uncorruptible. You can't you can't do anything to it that's not supposed to be done unto it or with it. All right, it's going to be undefeated, undefeatable, indestructible. Verse 54 says, "So when this corruption should have put on should have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory." Why? Because we're going to have everlasting life. Why are you worried about what you got on this side when on that side is everlasting life? Yeah, you might have you a nice little woman on this side, a couple kids, a decent house, a nice car, or whatnot. But that's nothing compared to the treasures that you have laid up in heaven that's going to be on that side. When, as it said, as Solomon said, how nothing passed him, how he all his heart's desire he wanted. If he wanted to do it, he did it. We can achieve that in the kingdom forever. So, man, don't worry about taking no U-Haul with you onto a chariot. Don't worry about the natural and affairs of this life, man. Most High throws a bone every now and then. Half the time we don't even deserve the bone. But he look out for us. He's going to give us what we need. He's going to give us our daily bread on this side. We're going to take our lumps on this side, enter in a straight gate, so that when we go through that fire, we can come out tried as gold in the kingdom. All right, so with that being said, Lord's word, this was edifying. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Karkadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, to women and children, the confusion of faith who follow. Shalom.